Puebla is. This impressive complex, called the Cinco de Mayo Civic Center, houses, in addition to the Cinco de Mayo theme park, two museums: the Non-Intervention Museum and the Anthropology Museum, the Planetarium, the Lago de la Concordia, the Mantarraya Viewpoint, the Mausoleum of General Ignacio Zaragoza, the Loreto and Guadalupe Forts, the Natural History Museum, the Exhibitor Center, and the Reforma Auditorium. From this place, you can appreciate the best views in the city, in addition to touring the very place where the Battle of Cinco de Mayo took place in 1862, in which the Mexican army defeated the French forces. The famous architect Enrique Norton designed the sinuous Mirador de la Mantarraya, one of the most attractive points of the complex, to commemorate the 150th anniversary of the Battle of Puebla. The place gets its name from the undulation of the wooden platform, which emulates the movement of the water. Here is a small representation of the famous ritual of the Papantla flyers, which, by the way, it is not only in Papantla where it is found. All throughout Mexico, you can enjoy this ancient tradition. The Chignahuapan kiosk was built in 1871. It is located in the main square of the magic town of Chignahuapan, here in Puebla, and it's made of fine woods. It is in the Moorish style. It is the only one in all of Mexico that is built entirely of wood, and it's supported by 8 wooden pillars and has a fountain right under it. No one is currently allowed to climb on the kiosk, since it does not support much weight, so enjoy this unique beauty from a considerable distance. The monument of the revolution represented here to scale is shown in its construction stage, which was supposed to be, according to President Porfirio Diaz back then, one of the most luxurious legislative palaces in the world, with more than 14,000 square meters. It was the renowned French architect Émile Bernard who was in charge of carrying out the Federal Legislative Palace project. Inspired by the precincts of the United States Capitol and the Parliament of Budapest, his goal was for the palace to be a work with neoclassical European aesthetic. As the project couldn't be completed, it ended up being abandoned several times, and it is now a very important monument and museum in Mexico City. There is enough space here for both recreation and relaxation, and endless activities to have a great time. Here is the access or exit of the tunnels, the secrets of Puebla. Bullets and crossbows were found inside. The tunnels are said to have been used by the Army of the East to ambush the French militia in 1862. The Lago de la Concordia is located in the fort's area. This is where the great legend nights shows take place at certain times of the year. where stories are projected in a sort of fountain that serves as a 12-meter water screen. Something totally spectacular. You cannot miss it. The Lago de la Concordia is an ideal place to visit on the weekends. In a natural environment in the middle of the urban area, as well as enjoying the different events that are presented here. The Nights of Legends take place from Thursday to Sunday from 8:45 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. and the admission is free. Believe it or not, there is a small waterfall somewhere behind these bushes. The Loreto Fort is an old military building that is located in the city of Puebla. Originally, there was a chapel at the top of the Acuellametepec hill, which was reconstituted in the early 19th century as a fortification for military purposes. It served as the main stage both in the battle and in the siege of Puebla during the Second French intervention in Mexico. Declared as a historical heritage of Mexico, it currently houses the Museum of Non-Intervention.
Well, here we are. Museo de la No Intervención, Fuerte de Loreto. Closed. Closed as it can be. Now, do not be discouraged because we'll get in somehow at some other time.
Walk through this exquisite park. While enjoying its surroundings, you can head towards the museums in the Cinco de Mayo Cultural Civic Center and the cable car. This encounter with nature will be for sure relaxing and soothing. And there we have the Monumento a la Bandera, the monument to the flag. The Auditorio de la Reforma was inaugurated in 1962 to commemorate the centennial of the Battle of Cinco de Mayo. It was built by Abraham Zawludowski, one of the most representative architects of the second half of the 20th century. It has a capacity of 1,815 people, in addition to dressing rooms, warm-up areas, and a dome that has been built so that the concerts that were offered were acoustic. On the outside, 24 wooden arches, which have a concrete and metal base, support the copper shell. The Regional Museum of Puebla houses a collection of extraordinary cultural value and aesthetic appeal. This area is emblematic of the history, culture, and social life of the city of Puebla, which gives the Regional Museum a privileged location, having the opportunity to be a central cultural space of the city and the state. General admission is 65 pesos, around $3. The Planetarium simulates a service station in outer space and offers great entertainment and learning through permanent workshops, interactive games, a star projector, and the Omnimax Dome. For several years now, the victory of the national forces over the French army has been commemorated in the capital of Puebla with a representation of the historic war and a colorful civic military parade. During the 1940s, the celebration began to include floats carrying hundreds of students. Today, the tradition of these mobile parties is still alive. In each edition, between 20 and 40 cars are built, of enormous dimensions, by designers and artists from Puebla of all ages. The theme is varied. Some make direct allusion to the military encounter, others evoke iconic aspects of the state such as the volcanoes or the traditional China Poblana, and some more recreate the history and architectural wealth of what is also known as the Ciudad de Los Angeles, City of Angels. The cable car has 2 towers or bases where you can board. They have a waiting room and elevators that allow quickly ascent. One is on the side of the Zaragoza Calzada and is 35 meters high. The other one is on the side of the Exhibitor Center and is 50 meters high. The length between the two towers is 688 meters, and the transfer between both towers lasts 5 minutes. The cabins have capacity for 35 people, but for convenience, only 22 passengers enter each trip. These cabins move at a speed of 3 meters per second and can reach a speed of 7 meters per second, which would allow the journey to be made in only 1.6 minutes. The Centro Expositor is one of the largest venues in Latin America, with 40,000 square meters without columns for exhibitions and 5,200 meters for conventions. Currently, Puebla is emerging as a destination with great potential for big events. The city of Puebla stands out as a World Heritage Site for its entire culture heritage. Likewise, its gastronomy stands out as one of the most important in the country. Enjoy. Acuellamete. Acuellamete. Acuellametepec. Acuella.